You're listening to Boss Builds, the show on Build Up where we turn stat blocks into character sheets so that you can be the boss at your D&D table. Be sure to watch the video all the way through, comment down below on how you would make today's build, and like and subscribe to keep your feed bossed up. Let's dive straight into the video. So let's go ahead and open up the stat block for the Aarokocra. As you can see for the Aarokocra, it has an armor class of 12, hit points of 13, a 20-foot walking speed, and a 50-foot flying speed. The 50-foot flying speed makes this thing very, very good. Flying speed in 5e is a very, very good thing to have, especially at level 1. And spoiler, we are going to get it at level 1. Some DMs don't allow flying races at their table, so go ahead and talk with your DM, make sure that's okay, kind of iron that out before you bring this build to the table, because flying speed is really good and we're going to be building around it, so it's going to be even better. As far as stats are concerned, it has a 10 in strength, 14 in dex, 10 in con, 11 in intelligence, 12 in wisdom, and 11 in charisma. Plus 5 to its skill of perception, a passive perception of 15, and its languages are Aarokocra and Aran. So as you can see, the only thing that's high is dex and wisdom. The whole monster in general isn't that hard. Like, you can see its stats are kind of low, so what we're gonna do for this episode is we're gonna take those things, like its stats and other things it can do, and kind of enhance them so that it can do basically this but do it better. Its challenge rating is 1/4, proficiency bonus +2, and it has this ability called a dive attack, where if it's flying and it dives at least 30 feet straight downward toward a target and then hits with a melee weapon attack, the attack deals an extra 3. So, you know, not that big of an extra, but it's not that hard of a boss to build, because it's not that strong of a boss in general, so we could definitely do that. As far as actions are concerned, it only has 2. It has its talent attack, +4 to hit, reach 5, 1 target, and on a hit it deals 1d4 +2 damage. And then a javelin, +4 to hit, reach 5, or since you could throw javelins, it could be 30 feet, 120 max range. On a hit it does 1d6 +2 piercing damage. So all in all, it's not really a hard build for today. This can also double as like how you would want to build around the theme of an Aarokocra. So you can definitely do that, but like I said, we're going to take the things Aarokocra can do, take its vibe and kind of condense it into a build, and that'll be good. So popping into character builder, you can see that we name our build as an Aarokocra. We choose our race before we choose the picture of Aarokocra, obviously, because if you choose that race, it'll give you some pre-made pictures that you can choose from. Check off all of your sources except for homebrew, and then check off in your optional features and customize your origin. And then we can go on over to the ability scores. So for our ability scores, I decided to go for point buy, and I went for a 10 in strength, 14 in dex +2 from the race, 10 in con, 12 in intelligence, 15 in wisdom, and then add the 1 from your race, and then an 11 in charisma. So our stats are pretty good. We have 16 and 2 of the main ones, which is great. For the background, I went again and went for Uthgart tribe member, just for kind of flavor, and then the language is Aran, which you should have already got from your race, but if you didn't, you can get that just in case. And already we have some of those things ticked off already. We actually have a lot of them. The only thing we need is our class, and we basically be done. So for the class, I decided to go for fighter, add the additional features on there. For proficiencies, I chose perception and intimidation, and then for our fighting style, I chose unarmed fighting. Unarmed fighting, for our talons, they can do 1d8s, and then we also get second wind, where you can heal a hit die on your turn once per long rest. And then action surge at level 2, you can take an additional action once per short or long rest, so that's pretty good. You can do that once, and then you have to rest in order to use it again. Third level, we choose our archetype, and I chose samurai to go for that kind of samurai feel. Bonus proficiency, samurai skill, and then I chose persuasion for that. And we also get fighting spirit. So at third level, as a bonus action, 3 times per long rest. You can give yourself advantage on the weapon attack rolls for that current turn, and then you can also get 5 additional hit points, and that 5 increases to 10 at 10th level and 15 at 15th level. So that's a pretty good that's a pretty good thing to kind of keep you in the fight and keep you doing damage, because having advantage on weapon attacks is really good, especially for this, because we're going to be making a lot of attacks on our turn by the end of things. So it's going to be good that we can make all those advantage, even if it is only 3 times per long rest. So that's good. For 4th level, we get our first ability score improvement, and I went ahead and doubled up on bumping our dex, so that way we can have our dexterity at 18. At 5th level, we get an extra attack. We can attack twice instead of once when you take the attack action on your turn. And for fighters, that increases to 3 at 11th level and 4 when we reach level 20. So fighters, since fighting is their stick, they get a lot of extra attacks. So that's definitely going to be good, because and we could talk about more of this when we go through our level 6 check-in for the build, but this is going to be good because since we can fly, that'll be a lot of movement going on. 6th level fighters get another ability score improvement. I doubled up on dex again to cap our dex at 20 at level 6, which is really good. So let's go ahead and go to equipment. To starting equipment, I chose leather armor and the longbow, so I can get the 30 arrows and the longbow, because that's going to be good. For our 2 martial weapons, I just chose whatever. It didn't really matter to me. You can choose obviously whatever you want to choose, but I didn't choose. What I would recommend is actually seeing if you can get a spear or a javelin early on, just so you can kind of match up to the boss more accurately. So when we check in at level 6, our strategy for this character is going to be, you're going to be basically flying, kind of sniping opponents with your longbow, and then when you want to get in, you kind of fly in, attack twice, one with your javelin, one with your talons, whatever, and then you just kind of fly out of their reach. And that strategy is very powerful, so powerful that a lot of DMs ban it. For right now though, if you try to fly away, you will provoke an attack of opportunity, but your armor class is 15 and you can wear armor right now, and that'll actually be better. So think about that. And we have 40 hit points, so all in all, pretty good build, and that 40 can increase to 45 if you do a fighting spirit. So it's pretty good for a level 6 character, I think. So for level 7, we're actually going to jump over to monk to do a little bit of multi-classing, hit those additional features. Monks get a lot of them, so keep that in mind. Unarmored defense, basically at first level of monk, when you're wearing no armor, your AC equals 10 plus your dex plus your wisdom, which is good because I think our wisdom is 16 right now, so that'd be plus 3. And since our dex is capped off, our intelligence our AC is going to go from 15 to 18, and 18 is a really good armor class to have. And we also get martial arts. So basically what this does is that if you're not wearing armor or a shield, you can use your dexterity instead of your strength for unarmed attacks. In your monk weapons, you can roll 1d4 in place of your normal damage of your unarmed attacks or monk weapons, or a d8 for unarmed attacks since we have the unarmed fighting style. And you can make a bonus action unarmed strike when you attack with your attack action. So that's going to be good, especially good. You can see we have a couple options for our bonus action. You can make an additional unarmed strike, and you can use your fighting spirit. If you use your fighting spirit, you have to kind of call that before you take the action, because that's just kind of how it goes. But that's going to be good. So you can fly in, deal 3 weapon attacks, and then fly back out. So that's going to be pretty good. And that's assuming you want to get in and hit. If you want to just snipe people with your bow in the air, you could do that as well. But for martial arts here, you have lots of options, so that's going to be good. Second level monks get dedicated weapon. You can touch any weapon and focus your key on it, kind of some flavor, and then that weapon counts as a monk weapon. The weapon must be a simple or martial weapon. You must be proficient with it, and it must lack the heavy and special properties. But for monk weapons, what it basically does is that you can use your dex for attacking. So, if you wanted to use a battle axe, you could do that. For this would be good, stuff like that. And then we get key. So key is basically a monk's spell slots, except they recover on a short rest instead of a long rest. And you can spend ki to do some things like Fury of Blows, which allows you to make 2 more unarmed strikes as a bonus action if you attack with your action. Patient Defense, you can take the dodge action as your bonus action if you spend the ki, and then Step of the Wind, you can dash or disengage as a bonus action if you spend ki. And so things like that. And you have as much ki as you do your monk level. And then unarmored movement, your speed increases by 10 feet if you're not wearing armor, and at 9th level that increases some more, so that's pretty good. 3rd level we're going with the Kensei. That's going to be our monastic tradition. But we also get deflect missiles to where if someone attacks you with like an arrow or something like that, you can use your reaction to catch it or reduce the damage by 1d10 plus your dex modifier plus your monk level. And then if that damage is reduced to 0, you can spend a ki point to kind of throw it back. I personally don't do that. That's kind of, it's situational, but it really just kind of depends on how many ki you have. Right now you only have 3, so I'll just recommend just kind of using it to catch it, whatever. We go Path of the Kensei. We get painter supplies, make the spear your Kensei weapon, and then you can make your longbow your Kensei weapon. And Kensei weapons, and speaking of that, we get the Kensei weapon ability, so you can make things your weapon, your monk weapon. And then we get agile parry, where basically if you make an unarmed attack with your action and you're holding your Kensei weapons, your AC equals +2. So if that happens, you'll have a 20. We take the Polearm Master feat, which basically you can attack with the other side of that weapon once per turn. Kind of redundant because you can just attack unarmed, but you can also make attacks of opportunity when someone enters your reach, so that's good. And you also get slow fall, which basically reduces your falling speed. So when we check back in at level 10, we see that our AC has bumped to 18 because of unarmored defense. We can make that 20 if we can attack unarmed while holding our Kensei weapon, so that's going to be really good. So basically a 20 to hit. We have Polearm Master with our spear, so we can attack people when they enter our reach, assuming they enter your reach because you're going to be in the sky. And then you have, for bonus action, you can attack more, and then you could also like dash and disengage with your bonus action, so you can fly away. You get Action Surge as an ability, so you can do more attacks if you want to, or you can just hang back and fly. You can shoot. You can use Fighting Spirit. It's gonna be pretty good. And then your longbow, it looks like 150 feet of range, so you can definitely be really high out of people's range. So that's pretty good for a build. Level 5 monks get Stunning Strike, where you can spend a ki point when you hit somebody to force them to make a stunning strike, to make a Constitution saving throw, and if they fail, they're going to be stunned to your next turn. So that's really, really good. The only downside is that Constitution is a popular saving throw among the monsters, but I mean, it is what it is. It's still good to have. At 6th level, we get you can add something else to be your Kensei weapon, or you can make it a monk weapon. You can choose whatever you want. I just chose a quarterstaff since they're cheap. And then you get the Ki Empowered Strikes ability. It's starting at 6th level. Your unarmed strikes count as magical for overcoming resistances. Your unarmored speed at level 6 increases to 15 when you're not wearing armor. And then you get one with a blade, where whatever Kensei weapon you picked at level 3, they count as magical as well for the purposes of overcoming resistance. And then when you hit a target with a Kensei weapon for Death Strike, you can spend a ki point to have them do some extra damage. So Kensei weapons is a really good dip. It was a really good dip for this class. I recommend it. But for now, we're going to go back to fighter. 7th level fighter, 13th level character as a whole. We get Elegant Courtier, which basically, when you make a charisma perception check, you gain a bonus to the check equal to your wisdom modifier, and then you also get proficiency in wisdom saving throws, which is really good because that's a very common saving throw that the DM is going to make you to make, want you to make. So that's going to be good that you have that proficiency. At 8th level, we get an ability score improvement or a feat. So I went for the mobile feat, where our speed increases for 10 feet. When you take the dash action, difficult terrain doesn't cost you extra movement. And if you make a melee attack against anything, that thing can't attack you for the rest of the turn. And we'll talk about that later. Indomitable, basically when you can reroll a saving throw that you fail. and you must use a new roll, and you can use that once every long rest, so that's good. Tireless Spirit, you regain uses of Fighting Spirit if you don't have any left. Extra attack, this is the 11th time, so we just attack 3 times per turn instead of 2, so that's good. 12th level fighters get another ability score improvement or a feat, so I went ahead with the tough feat, where you gain hit points equal to twice your level, and then you gain it after an additional 2. And if you start late and you're not at level 1, it'll already calculate that in there too, so that's gonna be good. 13th level we don't get anything, and then 14th level we get our last ability score improvement, so I went ahead and dumped that into wisdom. So and a note on that too, instead of doing wisdom, you can take the crusher feat, which would be good, or the charger feat, because it's more in character. So we got the mobile feat, which means that you can attack 3 times in a round, get agile parry, and then fly back out without attacking of opportunities, so which is really strong. But other than that, our build hasn't changed, so that's pretty much the build. One more thing I'd like to add is that we got an update on the Aarokocra race. As you can see, I'm just kind of going through the things. You can fly, you have talons, which are unarmed weapons, you speak languages, but there's actually a new race, and we get this ability we get Wind Caller, which I'll explain in a second. But the new Aarokocra race that they got is updated, and the flying speed isn't that bad, so if you chose to do that, you get the Gust of Wind spell that you can cast, and yeah, so it's pretty good. That's gonna be the end of the build. So as far as my final thoughts are concerned, I feel like this build is a very powerful build. Not in the sense that it can do big damage, but it's in the sense that you're moving around a lot and you can fly. That's really the thing that does it for me. You can fly with this build. You can dash in, make 3 attacks per round, and then dash out and your opponent can't attack you. And that's really good. Or you can hang back and use your longbow, and that's really good too. And all of those weapons are magical for the purposes of overcoming resistances. So all in all, I really like this build, and yeah, I definitely like it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.